On this episode of the Average Tabletop Gamers, I'm going to be looking at some scenery from Sarissa Precision, which I'm going to be using for 0-100 hours. Hello there. As I said in the intro, I'm going to be looking today at some scenery which I've picked up specially for a game that's coming out soon called 0-100 hours. So 0-100 hours is a game from Grey for Now Games, who you might know. I think the designers of that were the people behind things like Test of Honor, and it's been work in progress for a year or so now, and so I've been involved in some of the group activity to like behind the game, you know, getting ideas and suggestions and finding source materials and things like that. And essentially 0-100 hours is a 28mm skirmish game based in World War II, and the idea is that you will be playing covert operatives. You'll be playing like kind of para-regiment, going in, going to knock out Atlantic Wall facilities or radar facilities, doing, unseen actions behind enemy lines. And so one player will be the attacker, who will be, trying to sneak in and cut the communications lines or whatever it might be, and the other player will be the defender. We're going to be talking about 0-100 games on the channel a bit more in the future as they come up. We're going to be doing some play testing of the game. We're going to be hopefully speaking to some of the people behind the game, and when the game comes out, we'll be giving it full reviews and we'll be playing it. So as I've said, 0-100 hours is 28mm World War II, and I've got lots of scenery already for World War II encounters in 28mm. In fact, bearing in mind, one of the most famous covert operations of World War II was the Pegasus Bridge attack, and just up there we've got the Sarissa Precision Pegasus Bridge model, which came with the Warlord Games Bolt Action set. We've already got some soon. We've got lots of different scenery, but what I wanted specifically was some targets to stage these kind of covert operations around, these night raids against. So things like radar facilities, V2 rocket facilities, maybe even like a train station, something like that. So I thought I'd start off with a few bits. I had a look through Sarissa's website, and there's a couple of bundles there that I quite liked. So what I'll do is I'll show you some of the kits I've got now, and we'll go over them, and then I'll go in, build and paint them, and then we'll have a look at them properly once they're all assembled. What I picked up from Sarissa was, so there's this here, which is a border checkpoint set. So you see there you've got essentially some Czech hedgehogs. You've got a little barricade across the road. You've got the guard hut, and you've also got one of the smaller single person sentry huts. And of course these are just, as you'd imagine, MDF cut kits. I've also got here a round radar dish. There is a machine gun bunker. We've got a set of telegraph poles and road signs. We've already got this kit already in my selection, because this came again with the Pegasus Bridge ham and jam set that I bought. And then I've got a pair of these searchlights, so anti-aircraft searchlights and generators. And then we've got a low radar array. So I think this is more of a British style radar. So I think this is one of the ones that was part of Chain Home, around Battle of Britain kind of era. One of the coastal radars. And we've also got a Chateau, and there's a specific reason why you get the Chateau. So as I said, I actually picked up, rather than buying individual bits, although I've just shown them all individually there, I actually picked up a couple of bundles that Sarissa have got on their website. So you can buy all these bits individually, but they've got them pre-packaged. So for example, there is a radar assault set, which is the one where you get the radar, as you'd imagine, the machine gun nest, the telegraph poles and street signs, a searchlight and generator, and the border checkpoint set. And the other one I picked up was, and it's called Operation Biting, and it's where you get the disc radar and the the shadow. And then I also picked up an extra one of these Searchlight and generator sets, because again I want some extra scatter to put around the table. Come back to the shadow. The reason why they do this bundle, and the reason why it's called Operation Biting, is because Operation Biting was kind of one of the first night raids, the first kind of raids of its kind using Parareg into northern France. So this is February 1942. There was a radar station in Brunewald, northern France, which basically was in the grounds of a chateau, hence the chateau. And it is this type of radar, a radar dish, or a Würzburg radar, I believe it is. And so that's the kind of scenario that I want to be playing out in 0 to 100 hours. There's a great book, which I'll link below in the comments, by the writer Damien Lewis, all around Operation Biting. I would recommend that, especially if you're going to be playing something like 0 to 100 hours, or if you're just interested in para-regiment, or you're interested in kind of like World War II covert ops and night raids. So yeah, so I wanted to get that because, you know, I've read a lot about that particular operation, you know, and the pack was there. And I say the other one will give me some extra scenery to build around some of the scenarios that are in 0 to 100 hours. And obviously combined with some of the extra bits that we've got in our terrain collection, like the Atlantic Wall bunkers, we've got the bunkers that came with Pegasus Bridge, various bits like that, we should be able to make some nice scenery sets. As I say, we'll get back to that when we start looking at building a table for the game and actually getting into playing some games of 0 to 100 hours, but for now I'll focus on these kits. So the next step really is for me to take these and get them all built and painted, and then once I've done that I will come back and let you know what exactly I think of these, and then obviously we'll get these ready for gaming. So I'm back and I've built everything now. I did it all off camera because you've seen me build MDF kits before, and I kind of just did this sitting in front of the telly with some basic tools. And I'll say this, for building these kits, essentially I had a couple of flat files, I had a knife, like a dull blade just to kind of help pop them out, some wood glue and a little wood glue applicator, like a little glue spreader, and that's all I needed to build all of these bits. It was a really nice experience of building these. So we'll get into looking at what you actually get in the kits built up. So as I say, I haven't painted these yet because essentially I thought I'd just get them built, because what I want to do is start play testing the rules for 0 to 100 with the scenery. So I'd rather get on with doing that than wait until I get these painted, and I'll get these painted before we start playing some actual games of the game when it comes out. So we'll start off with a look at the Operation Biting set. So this consists of the radar dish, and we also get the shadow. So we'll start off looking at the radar dish. So this, as I say, is like a kind of it's a take on the Würzburg, I think it is, radar dish. Very much like the one that was the target of Operation Biting. So obviously, as you can see, it's two parts. The only thing I did, because obviously this is designed so that it will turn on its little pedestal, the only thing I did different here is I took a bit of offcut of a couple of bits of offcut from the sprue, and I just glued them in there so that it would sit more level once it's on the pedestal, and it just seemed to move better. So that's something I found that I did there. In terms of how easy this one was to put together, so the dish itself was a little bit fiddly just because of obviously lining up all of those, but actually, you know what, it was a very simple build, and I really like the kit. There's loads of detail in that one. So we've got the shadow, and this was a bit of a bigger build just in terms of the amount of accessories and detail that there was to put on it. The only bit that was a bit fiddly was building up the staircases. So there's a staircase front and back. Lining those up and getting those to line up with the fascia for them, and the roof assembly. So we'll talk about the roof in a second. Again, as you'd expect with kind of 28mm buildings like this, they are multi-level, so we can break it down into the floors. We can break it down into its component floors. So we've got 3 levels of play essentially in here, including, or 4 if you include the actual very rooftop, which I think will be great for this type of take and hold objective mission, or any other mission like that, to be fair. I love the detail. So there's card detail that gives you the window shutters on the 2nd floor. There's wood detail that gives you the window surrounds and door surrounds on the ground floor. And then the way the roof's put together with these windows that standing out is really nice. And I say again, you've got room in there to put your squads. So as I say, this was a really nice kit to build. I'll say this now for all these Sarissa kits. There was very little I had to do to clean these up. When they came off the sprues, there was the lightest bit of filing to clean these up and prep them. You know, it's quite a thin MDF, which is quite nice. Makes it a lot easier to work with. And it's also, and I don't know the correct term for it, but it's also like a well compacted MDF. So it's not like sometimes you get like a furry MDF, and they're horrible to work with because they expand with the glue. They don't always get a good fit with the where you got the peg joints. But I say I really enjoy this kit, and the way that it kind of fits together with even the floors. There's cutouts to allow the door frames to fit over them. It's just really nice, so I like this one a lot. Now we'll have a look at what you get in the Radar Assault kit, because this one's a huge kit. Okay, so here we've got the contents of the Radar Assault set. So you can see we've got a radar, and again there's some articulation in, you know, you've got a turning radar top. We've got a series of barricades or check hedgehog lines, and we've also got like a barricade, you know, which again is articulated so you can have an up or down position. We've got a little sentry hut as well as a guardhouse, and again, as you'd imagine, as with all buildings like this, the removable roofs. We've got a square machine gun nest. We've got a searchlight and generator, and we've got some telegraph poles. There was also a set of street signs included in this set, but I haven't built those. I've got another set of street signs that came with the Pegasus Bridge set that I haven't built yet either. I'm going to do those at some point and make them into objective markers. So again, these were really easy to build, and as you can see, like there's multiple movement points on like the searchlight, which I really liked, and it also comes with a little spool of razor wire or barbed wire. Again, I'll probably, with these little check hedgehog lines, I'll probably mount these to a base and actually do some wraps of wire on them, just to actually make them a bit easier to put out on the table. So as with the Operation Biting set, all of the kits here I really enjoyed building. There weren't that many fiddly bits. You know, there's a few bits where it pays to read through the instructions. Just make sure you've got everything dry fitted so that you're going to get the right amount of movement. I think these bits here where there was spinning discs, there was a bit of filing involved just to make sure that they were moving freely and weren't getting bound up. In fact, the fiddliest bit of them all was the searchlight, just because the number of component parts to make up the actual barrel of the searchlight itself, and the fact that it was like lining those all up. But again, if you take your time with that, easy to put together. Same with all the wheels. Each wheel is three circles of metal, 3 discs of metal, of wood, that you've got to glue together to fit on. But if you take your time, you can get it. You can get the full articulation, so it moves nice and freely in all directions. But I love the variation in this kit as well. The fact that you've got several things which are going to be like key objective points in the game: telegraph poles, searchlights, guard towers, the radar itself. You know, you've got a little guard hut, which I really like as a nice piece to use as like a barracks house for your guards, as well as the machine gun nest. And as I said before, with, as you'd expect with a building like this, the removable lid so that you can place your troops inside. So let's talk about obviously the cost of these kits, because as I say, high quality that you'd expect from Sarissa Precision. A lot of stuff in the kits themselves, great detail, so you'd expect a high cost, but actually the thing I found with Sarissa is their costs are very reasonable in terms of the amount of quality and the amount of kit you get. So for the Operation Biting kit, which is the Chateau and the Würzburg radar dish, that was £31. I think it was reduced slightly, so check on the site at the time. It was £31. For the radar assault set, so although you can buy all those components individually, buying them as make a saving. So all of that was £36. So again, that was radar, guardhouse, machine gun nest, sentry box, searchlight and generator, the barriers, the check hedgehogs, the street signs, the razor wire, and the telegraph poles, all for £36, which I think was great. And the only other thing that I bought separate was I bought an extra searchlight and generator kit, which was £5.50. So to recap, essentially, and go back to the original purpose of buying this was so that I can build some setups, some tables for 0 to 100 hours, which is a new game coming soon. I'll be getting this painted, and we're going to do some play testing soon, and then when that comes out, we'll be doing some actual games of it with a painted table. So keep an eye on the channel for that, and obviously keep an eye out on our Instagram for painted pictures of this, as well as some other bits that we're going to be doing around the game, some other bits that we're painting up, some defenders and attackers of various guises. I'll put all the links below to these kits, so where you can get them from Sarissa, as well as we'll put some links in there as well to 0 to 100, to the site for that, so you can go and find out more about that game. As I say though, in terms of what I wanted, which is radar objectives for nighttime raids in World War II, I think these are going to be spot on, and I'm really looking forward to throwing some commandos at them or some paratroopers. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to give us a like, a share and a subscribe, and make sure you hit the notify bell down there, just so you know when we post more videos here from the Average Tabletop Gamers. But until the next time, go check out our social medias, and we'll see you soon for more like this.